All right, good afternoon. I know it's a brand new voice for you here right now on the Mother's Justice Show. Good afternoon. My name is Omari Salisbury. I'm filling in for the good Reverend Harriett Walden, who has earned a well-deserved day off, man, and very excited to be here in the studio. First and foremost, man, got to give a big shout out to our producer, our engineer today, Eric. It's been a minute, man.
It has. Great to see you again.
It's great to see you, man. It's such a good feeling to be in the studio. It's been over 2 years since I've been in here, man, and I'm invigorated.
Excellent.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. We got a special guest in the building today, Abby Plaatjes. What's up, Abby?
Hey, Omari. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it's good to have. It's good to be had. Right? Old saying there. And we're gonna jump in it with Abby. I'm gonna tell you guys the whole story, all about it. You know, over the years, Mother's Justice Show, I think it's almost 7 years on air.
Wow.
Yeah, Mama got a lot of stamina. People wonder, like, they see me in media over at Converge and everything else. They're like, man, where you get that from? I get it from my mom. Like, you know what I'm saying? On the real. But so we're gonna be talking to Abby here, and I'll tell you guys the whole story. I know over the years you guys have heard the good Rev talk about my travels in Africa and everything else across the continent, and so it's gonna be a real great discussion here. And Abby's an author now, by the way.
Yes,
so
I am.
We'll be talking about that. But first, excuse me. First and foremost, want to make sure we're gonna be touching on this all throughout the show. The Mother's Justice Breakfast, man. This is the annual breakfast, and that's going to be happening on Thursday, November 9th at 7 a.m. That's right. Get up early. Get up early for the cause of justice, 7 a.m. at the Royal Esquire Club, and featuring guest speaker Vonda M. Sargent. And this is a big deal. They're presenting the Thurgood Marshall Award. And every year, the Thurgood Marshall Award goes to a warrior for justice here in the Seattle, Puget Sound area. And so, man, we'll be there. I know you got invited.
I know. I'm very excited to actually be there on Thursday.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with everybody.
Right. And so for ticket information, this website here is kind of long, so I'll give you a phone number. So if you want to support, and what you should is support the Mother's Justice Breakfast. That's this Thursday, November 9th, 7 a.m. at the Royal Esquire Club, and the phone number is 425-954-7501. So that's one call to action that you'll hear throughout this hour. The other call to action is man, tomorrow is election day. Tomorrow is when you need to let your voice be heard. If you haven't already, you know, we're fortunate we live in a state where it's all mail-in ballots. So a lot of people have already cast their ballot. If you haven't cast your ballot, if you're sitting on the fence, man, you have to be able to make your voice heard. You know what I'm saying? And this is your time and your opportunity. There's over 70 drop boxes throughout King County. I know that this signal goes far beyond King County, where I can speak, you know, with accuracy about King County. Man, get these ballots in. And if you plan on mailing your ballot, the ballot needs to be stamped before, it needs to have a postmark of tomorrow. So, you know what I'm saying? If you put in your mailbox tomorrow night or something like that, it's going to be invalid. Also, make sure that your signature is on point. That's the number one thing now that they're doing to throw out ballots, is if your signature isn't a perfect match. So make sure that your signature is matching what's on your registration and everything else. This is a very important election. People somehow kind of feel that if it's not running for president, they don't need to vote. But it's like, man, all these things that are impacting us right now, or it's present right now. So we need guys to get out and vote. Tomorrow is election day. And like I said, you got until 8 p.m. to put that ballot in the drop box. Excuse me. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I am going to tell you to get up, get out, and vote. That being said,
I think that's good enough.
Yeah. Now let me introduce my guest. Man, I've been doing a lot of talking here. I look at that clock over there. I'm like, it's just running, and I'm still talking.
Welcome to radio time.
Oh man. So introduce my guest here. So again, my name is Omari Salisbury. I'm the founder of Converge Media. I'm also the son of your usual host here, the Reverend Harriett Walden. Yeah, no, for sure. Big claps, big ups right there. And, over the years, she's kind of shared her story. I spent the majority of my time a good part of it, my professional career overseas, working across the continent of Africa in TV and in radio, and at the time introducing streaming media, and social media, and everything else. Crazy enough, I've been to 64 countries altogether. Most of that in the pursuit and learning and working in media in one way or another. And one of the people I came across many, many moons ago was my good friend Abby Plaatjes, and we used to work together at 102.6 Choice FM, right, in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
You're not allowed to do that. That's like radio murder.
Oh,
but it's on a different continent, so it's okay.
I promise you. Hey, listen, man. This is KK&W, and so someone might really try to tune in. I mean, this is all love. It's
nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is just to let you know, this is our special place right here. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's some other stations in the building where it's not, but right here, it's special for us. But we were together on Choice FM, and of course, the parent company there, Clouds FM, and did a lot of stuff and worked together, a lot of stuff across East Africa. You're now here in the United States.
Yeah.
Karibu.
Asante.
I see it's very cold here. We say baridi sana.
Yeah, no. I've whipped out all the possible jackets that I could find on the continent. Very difficult because we live by the equator, so.
Yeah, like literally. But you're here for a reason and for a cause, and man, you know what I'm saying? You just, first of all, let me let you introduce yourself to our listeners, because I know you too well, so I'm just skipping through it like, yeah, that's the big homie. Listen up. And I'm doing a disservice to our listeners, man.
Yeah.
And so I think only you can explain who you are no better than you. So why don't you talk about who you are first, and then we'll also talk about you as an author. But let's talk about what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Abby Plaatjes. I am originally South African, but I reside in the beautiful country of Tanzania, which is on the east coast of Africa. For 20 years, I've been working in the media industry. I have done Big Brother, which was my big break into media, actually, and broadcasting. And that was 20 years ago, so no, you cannot find anything online because it's not there. It was actually way before the internet, so this is a good thing. And then slowly worked my way up, into broadcasting, which is, like Omari was saying earlier, my first love, radio. I have an awesome show back home, The Drive Show, which is a 3.5-hour show where we play a lot of music, spread a lot of love, do a lot of community work, and just bring joy to whoever's driving home at that particular time. And there's so much more that I've done, and I really hate talking about myself that much, but I also wrote a book 2.5 years ago. Well, it took me 2.5 years, but I finally finished it and launched it on the 24th of June this year, and it has actually been doing really, really well, very much unexpectedly for me, but of course I'm exceptionally happy about that. And my very, very good friend, Omari Salisbury over here, decided to invite me over to the U.S. for a little mini book tour. And I was like, you know what? Why not? If the heavens are aligned, let's just do it. So here I am, needless to say. And the reception of my book has actually been really, really great. The name of my book is called The Life in My Men.
All right, let me stop right there.
I knew it.
That was all good. It's a great introduction.
You're like, okay.
So, all right, the name of the book is The Life in My Men, and it seems like it might also be a play on words in the men in my life. Mm-hmm. All right, so what's this book all about?
So off the top of your head, yes, of course, it sounds, it is very provocative, which is exactly what I wanted. But basically the book is dedicated to my daughter, my little girl. I have 2 kids. My eldest is a son. And about 10 years ago, I lost my brother to the effects of mental health. A phenomenal human being who, of course, changed my life incredibly. And then a few years after that, I lost dad as well. And I just wanted to write a book about and honor and celebrate men. That is basically the gist of it. I feel that we are in such a time right now where, as women, we are strong, we're powerful, we've made our space and still finding our space in this world and creating it and developing it. And I just felt somehow that maybe men are feeling lost in all of that power. And I didn't want that, to resonate with, especially because I have a son. So I wanted to create something, a part of my legacy, so that my kids especially, and your kids and everybody who is a mom or working woman, a married, a wife, whatever position it is that you take in society, that you can resonate with.
All right. Sound like that's
lot,
what I
right?
asked for. No, it was like this is high level overview,
Yeah.
which is great. But we need to dig into this. You know what I'm saying? You made your way all the way out.
What do you want to know, Omari?
We're over here on the east side. I mean, like, even Eric's over there is like inquiring minds want to know, man.
Yes, there's juiciness in the book, and
no, hold tight. So what we'll do right now is we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we'll dig into what the life in my men is all about. We're going to talk about the book. We're going to give that some space and grace, but also, like you said, you're South African. Mm-hmm. You live in Tanzania, and so we also want to be able to touch on some topics that are trending or what's going on the continent of Africa as well. You are listening to the Mother's Justice Show.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Going our own way every day. Alternative Talk 1150.
All right, welcome back to the Mother's Justice Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, filling in for my mom, the Reverend Harriett Walden. And yeah, man, that's that jam, that night shift. Huh?
I know, right?
All right, all about
It's
that.
classic.
Before we jump back into this conversation with Abby, again, remind everybody the Mother's Justice Breakfast. That is this Thursday, November 9th, 7 a.m. for all the early risers out there at the Royal Esquire Club. That's in Columbia City, featuring guest speaker Vonda M. Sargent. And what's really dope is they're, again, this year giving out the Thurgood Marshall Award. And I got a feeling this year is going to be very special. You can get ticket info at 425-954-7501. See, this radio. See, I always got to repeat. 425-954-7501. Or an email at mothersbreakfast@gmail.com. So I know you'll be there for breakfast, Abby.
Oh, for sure. Favorite meal of the day. So
Okay. All right. So good stuff. So the life in my man. And so you wrote this book. You dedicated it to your daughter. And, I think it's kind of cool that you wrote a book that's not beating up on men.
Yeah, I know, and that's what everybody thinks.
It's kind of rare. I came in here with all my
thinks.
battle armor on. You know what I'm saying? Expecting her some things. So I mean, who are the? I know it's the life in my men, but who are the men in your life that made it into the book?
Yeah. I don't know what it is and how the universe has laid my life out, but I am surrounded by many great, phenomenal men, and I'm super proud of it. Look at you. You're sitting right here, and you're one of them. But I chose 7 different men in the book. Like I said, my dad and my brother. The first 2 chapters is dedicated to them. Big Brother, of course, which is the show that I was in, is also in here because I never really got to speak a lot on Big Brother after the show. So I wanted to just, lay it all out there, which I did. And then, of course, there's a chapter on my son. There's a chapter on my ex-husband. There's a chapter on the love of my life. And, of course, a few other men in between. But mainly 7.
Which one was the easiest to write and which one was the hardest?
The easiest, I think, was my son. And he's the final chapter. Because my son, he's only 17 years old, but he is an absolutely phenomenal human being, So to write about him and to celebrate him and to honor him was extremely easy to do because that's just the kind of person that he is. He's naturally just wholesome and warm and beautiful. So the hardest, I would have to say, was my brother because, like I said earlier, I lost my brother to was kidney failure, but my brother was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia in the early 2000s. And my brother was born a genius, got invited to NASA to work on the space program and everything. And he somehow just snapped. It was too much pressure for him and it got to him. So that was, I think, the toughest. It's even tough for me to talk about it right now because it was extremely traumatic just watching him go from this super incredible, successful, smart human being to just not having control over his mind and, just over anything actually. So yeah, that was the toughest one.
Which man have you gotten the most feedback from, either positive or negative?
It's a lot of it. I got a lot of feedback about my dad. I think a lot of people who've read the book resonate with how I wrote about my father because I chose not to write about my dad as my father. I chose to look at him as a man, as Brian Plaatjes.
Why?
Because that's who he is. A part of him is that he was my father. But the whole of him is that he was a man on his own, and that's how I wanted to view him. And that's how I wanted the world to see him and not just for him to be defined as a father. There's so many different aspects that was and belonged to him and he owned so much of it. So I wanted, not only for myself, but I want everybody to view important people in their lives as not just your mom or not just your dad or not just your brother. There's so many different aspects that make up people. There's so many different roles that we play. So we have to acknowledge all of that and not just one part of it.
What was the catalyst? I mean, I know you said who you wrote it for and basically dedicated to, but what's the catalyst? And, writing a book, although there's lots of people writing books, there's more people that aren't. There really takes something for you to get up off your butt and be like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. So I mentioned this the other night at the mixer as well, where I feel like we're just in such a time where our men are not being celebrated. And I think that it is, our responsibility as women, as the nurturers in this world, to do that. It is our responsibility to, uphold our men, uplift our men, and to support them and to, help them understand what their role is in our lives. We cannot, have this belief that we can do anything and be anything without men. We need our men. We need our men. Our men is, if not the most important, aspect of a woman being upheld as well. So we can do it on our own, but it's not complete. This is just my belief anyway. I believe that we're meant to do it together. We fit perfectly. So therefore, we need to hold each other up in that aspect.
How much of your African upbringing and African values and perspectives do you think pours into this book?
Everything. Absolutely everything, from the beginning to the end. I literally start the book with a little background into my history. And my grandmother from my mom's side is indigenous Khoisan in South Africa. So I wanted, of course, as you know, a lot of the indigenous tribes all across the world have been wiped out and, suffered tragic genocide. And our tribe is none the different. So to the point where in South Africa or even the rest of the world, a lot of our culture has been swept under the carpet or forgotten or just not carried forward into recent and modern times. So I basically speak about that a little bit and introduce people to the culture and to just the tribe in itself. And just a little bit of education. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I got a lot of backlash, not backlash from the book, but growing up and traveling through Africa, I get a lot of questions about my ethnicity and my race and where I'm from and what am I, and I'm mixed and I'm 0.5 and 50-50 and all these different weird names that I get called. And if anything, I'm actually from an indigenous tribe, which is more pure and more authentic than anybody else. So it's very hard for people to believe that because I'm light-skinned, light eyes, blah, 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 all these little categories that they put you into. But, yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's just Abby.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, well, let me ask you this. Do you feel that when you're talking about how men need to be nurtured and upheld, are you feeling that there's a trend on the continent as well where you live that is different, or are you addressing maybe more of a global conversation about men?
Mm-hmm. Well, because I am from the continent and South African at that, and I live in Tanzania, I'm a product of my environment, and I see what goes on around me. And of course, that then spills out into the rest of the world, of course. We are very, we are in a weird time, like I said, and I don't feel that I should just be talking to Africa. I feel that this is a message that can actually reach everybody, and anybody can actually resonate with it. It's not just very one-sided.
So you have a chapter there about your father. Mm-hmm. That would be what, the third chapter?
The very first one.
First one. Oh, as somebody myself, I lost my father just a few months ago, May 2nd of this year. Mm-hmm. What were some of your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Because your father is deceased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you're writing about him, in a past state, you know what I'm saying? But what were some of your biggest takeaways or thoughts, or maybe even some of the things that you thought were most important in speaking about your father in your book?
Wow. My father was an incredible human being. And I know that you also, losing your dad not so long ago, actually, you can understand the importance of honoring your ancestors, especially those closest to you, like your father, My dad was a very big personality man. His personality was larger than life. And he was loud, he was boisterous, he was outspoken, he was wild, he was crazy. But there was also a side to him when he was with my mom and with me and my brother that was extremely gentle and kind. And, and my dad was, obviously growing up in South Africa at his age, a product of the apartheid government at that time as well. But the fact that my parents raised us to not play into the hatred that gets passed into that system, I thought that was the biggest takeaway for me about the kind of people that my parents were. I'm not only paying that honor to my dad, but to my mom as well, who's still with me, thank God. And I believe that we are able to do that. We are able to rise above all the BS and, make sure that we stick to our human side of things and understand what, we are as humanity, as opposed to just being individuals and, trying to, just trying to impose our own individual ideas onto people. There is something greater. And I think my father and my mom was like a perfect example of that.
Now, you said that you have your ex-husband chapter as well. Right? How important or unimportant or was it in writing this book to be honest, but also I would suppose be uplifting?
Yeah. Because, listen, divorce is not easy. Anybody who's been divorced completely and knows that and understands it 1,000,000%. I think it's one of the most painful things that anybody can go through. And of course, my ex-husband and I went through that pain. And but this was a long time ago. I've been divorced now for 13 years. But he is the father of my children. I always say that he was a terrible husband, but he's a phenomenal father. So, and I write about that in the book. I write the reasons why it never worked out. I write the reasons to why I want to honor him, because as a man, he was struggling too. And I'm sure that he didn't want to get divorced. I don't think anybody goes out there and be like, we're getting married, we can always just get divorced. I don't think it's like that. I don't think that he would probably never say this because he's a very proud man, but I also don't think that he was happy about us splitting up and breaking up our family and everything like that. But the great thing about it is because after about 8 years after we were divorced is when we eventually managed to work on our friendship. And we have a really great relationship now. We get along like a house on fire. So, yeah.
Wow. And digging into now for people who don't know, although because I don't know if it's still on air over here, but you mentioned Big Brother. Maybe you can tell.
Oh, it's still on air here.
Is it?
Yeah.
You can tell people what Big Brother is. You know what I'm saying?
So Big Brother is a reality show. It's based off of the George Orwell book, 1984. I'm sure you know the book better than anything else. So basically they put about 12 to 15 people in a house with cameras everywhere watching your every single move. There's no phones, there's no television, there's no radio, no newspapers, so you have no contact with the outside world. And they basically study you like guinea pigs. Like, what is your human behavior going to be like when you're stuck in a house with 12, 13 other people, and what's going to happen? So super interesting, I have to say.
So what happened? I mean, it is a book. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that can go into your book. I mean, you've given Big Brother its own chapter.
I have. Well, it was mainly the experience of Big Brother that I speak about in the book, because it was also my discovery of how intense the patriarchy is actually in the world. I had no idea or no clue of what it was until I actually encountered being on the show, and then how I got treated after as a woman, especially as a colored woman in South Africa. So there was a lot of misconception. There was a lot of oppression. And I also realized that men... So
it went all bad for you after going on TV?
It really did. It really did. It was extremely terrible. I told you the other day how South Africa themselves, I couldn't get a job. I was trying to, get involved in media and everything, and nobody wanted to employ me. And I eventually I started doing movies everywhere else in Africa. I went to Nollywood. I went to East Africa. I did a whole bunch of shows all over. And once I started blowing up in the rest of Africa, then my country decided, oh, well, she's doing well, so no. we can honor her,
Is that how a lot of Kenyans called Lupita ugly until
she won an Oscar?
They said they named her the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, oh,
Yeah.
she's...
It's extremely
That's
hypocritical.
crazy.
No, it's extremely hypocritical. If you think about the media world in general, it is extremely hypocritical. And we all work in it, but of course you have to understand and know what your voice is and, what it is that you stand for and push that narrative as opposed to following the status quo. So a lot of us, unfortunately, do get caught up in that. And, I realize as a woman, we have to fight 10 times harder. We have to work 10 times harder, get paid 10 times less, but we still deliver and we still, produce, if not so much better quality work than a lot of people.
So a question for you then. How different and same, so you can say how an example maybe of how things are the same and how they're very different is like life and culture in South Africa than life and culture here in America?
I don't know if I've experienced America well enough to. Okay. America,
maybe your perception of America.
Yes, maybe my perception. I always say that America it's a great marketing tool for the rest of the world, because the way that America is viewed in the rest of the world, or at least on the continent of Africa, is the place where all your dreams come true and everything like that. But I don't know. I think just as a people, we all have our own troubles. We all have our own issues. We all have our lives that we have to deal with. And I think that we're very similar, just maybe with different cultures and different lifestyles and things like that. But I think that there's a lot of similarities. And yeah, you definitely do have so many more opportunities here as opposed to what is happening on the continent, of course.
Mm. Now, you mentioned in your book, one of the chapters, the love of your life.
Omari. I did use a pseudonym. I protected him in the book because he's famous, so I didn't want him to.
He's famous, huh?
Didn't want him to be exposed.
That should let everybody know. You're definitely not talking about me.
Oh, no. Yeah. What would you like to know, sir?
Why'd you get all quiet and clammy now? You see that, Eric?
Not at all.
All quiet.
I'm not.
Look, she was doing all these soliloquies about all this and that, and I'm like, what's up with the love of the life?
What would you like to know?
Let me ask my lawyer now if I can answer the. I don't. You tell me. It's your book. I mean,
no,
he's under a protected class. It's under a pseudonym. Tell him about it. Like, I don't know. You travel the world. He used to cook for you, rub your toes. I mean, what happened? He's loving your life. You know?
All of the above. No, I wrote about him not because of those, little fickle points, which is great nonetheless. But he changed my life. There was a point after my divorce, there was a part of me which just died, because I used to have endless conversations with God. Like, why would you take my dad? Why would you take my brother? Why would you take my ex-husband? Like all of these great influential men in my life constantly leave. And so, of course, I internalized all of that and thought that it was my fault. But of course, eventually I realized that it wasn't. So meeting him completely changed my view and my aspect. I never wanted to get married again. I didn't want to, engage in romantic situations anymore. But he changed that, and he revitalized my faith in love. He did. So there's still a few good men out there.
So this is Mr. Big.
You know him. You've met him. Let me just put it that
snap.
way. You know exactly who I'm talking about because you've met him. I brought him here for you to meet. Remember?
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah.
Hey, you keep getting ambushed by this book. every trip. But I think that's important if you're going to write a book, and especially a book about, you know what I'm saying, your relationship with men, that you're able to write a chapter in there that's
Because,
able to talk
yeah,
about, you know what I'm saying,
romance is a
loving
huge
somebody
part
and
of
being
us.
loved.
Yeah, no, like this, it's it's a celebration. It's a celebration of love, but love in all aspects, to all different kinds of men in your life. So what would it have been if I didn't honor romance?
So we're gonna getting up here on a break here shortly. Is there a chapter that's in there that's not someone who's related to you, not a thing like Big Brother, or not someone you were in love with?
Not a chapter, but there are a few little stories.
Oh, you just drop a few gems?
Yeah. There are a few. And then there was this man, and then there was this. I do, yeah. There's a few. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to elaborate? No, we have to go to a break.
You see? You know this business all too well. I'm going to follow the lead on that one. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the book, and then we're also going to talk about what's happening there on the continent of Africa. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Alternative Talk 1150. It's good for what ails you. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA.
All right, welcome back to the Mother's Justice Show. And yeah, a big shout out to Eric right there. Diggable Planets. You guys might not know, Butterfly Ishmael Butler from the Central District of Seattle went to Garfield High School. You know what I'm saying? Like, we represented everywhere. It's town business, man.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You do know them.
Yeah, of course.
I remember we were standing outside my club one night, and you were on the phone with them, and you literally put the phone in my face, and you were like, "Abs, do you know Diggable
Dar es
Planets?"
Salaam, Tanzania.
Yes.
We're out there. It's like 3 in the morning
remember
at a
that.
nightclub.
I
and
literally
you were talking
remember that.
about Diggable Planets. I was like, that's my guy.
That is
everybody looked at me crazy.
I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are like my favorite.
I called
That is
Ishmael
insane.
Butler from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. He picked
You
up
so
first
did.
ring and said, "Big O, what's up?" I said, "Man, I'm at the club in Tanzania, fam. They're rocking your joint. They want to talk to you." I got a little bit of connection.
Nice
man.
little memory.
I do what I can. All right. So, what are some of the learnings and the takeaways as far as the overall process and, you know what I'm saying, conceiving, conceptualizing, writing,
Oh wow.
you know, publishing now, and marketing and selling the book?
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I did this on my own. I've never wanted to write a book. Have you ever heard me say, Omari, I want to write a book?
No. Maybe pop a bottle, but never write a book.
Exactly. It was never my, I think also I explain in the book as to why I had a little bit of childhood trauma because of that. And I explain it. But some point about 3 years ago, I just put my head down and realized that I actually have a lot of stories. This is not my last book. It's my first one and most definitely not my last one because the next one is dedicated to the woman. But yeah, it's an extremely tough process. There are not many writers who actually go, who get to the end, who actually get to the publishing part of things. There's, it's very easy to give up halfway, quarter way, first chapter. Requires a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, but also a lot of passion. Like, you have to love what you're doing. You have to enjoy storytelling. But I'm definitely not solely responsible for the fact that this book is sitting here right now today. I have a phenomenal editor by the name of Jennifer Matthews, and she's based in Australia. She's South African, but she's based in Australia. I found her. I emailed a whole bunch of people, but she accepted my call, and she accepted my story and my very amateur way of writing, and she loved it. She said that it's very easy. She said it's it's one of those reads that you can sit by the pool on a Sunday afternoon and finish it. It's not very tough to get through. And she brought my stories to life. So I think it's the process more than anything that is more fulfilling than, because at the end of it, I realized, like, when the book was published and I had my launch, I was like, okay, wait, why doesn't this feel like I thought it was going to feel? It doesn't feel, you expect, it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like, oh, okay, here it is. And I'm like, okay, let's move on. It wasn't as, over the top as I thought that it would be. But I guess that's just part of it.
Right. And what advice do you have for aspiring writers out there? I think there's a lot of people, a lot of stuff to say, but sometimes the hurdles are in our minds and sometimes they're real life hurdles.
Yeah.
But, what advice do you have?
To keep going and to write every single day. The trick is to write every single day. Every single day. Like, even if you just do one sentence, but the trick is to write every single day. It's like your writing muscle is like, you need to exercise it. And the more you exercise it, the better you become at it. I completely understand why people have ghostwriters, because it's extremely difficult. It's not an easy thing. I never saw myself as a writer, but it is extremely fulfilling when you actually complete the project. That is the part that kept me going. It's like, don't leave this halfway. So if I would have any advice to young aspiring writers, it's to write every single day, to create constantly. Just keep going. Keep going. Your voice is so necessary to the world.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of feedback have you had, especially in the terms of, young women there?
I've got a great young woman following. And I love that so much. Most of my followers actually, when I check my stats on whether it's social media or my sales stats online, it's actually 50-50. Well, it's 55-45. 55 women, 45 men. So I love the fact that I have such a balanced following, but I do have a lot of young girls who constantly reach out to me. I think I have to just start Auntie Abby column or something to address all of these issues and just advice. A lot of young girls that just want advice. And I love that I am able to give them, because I just feel like I will have like 1 million daughters, so it's cool. I don't have a problem with that.
Auntie Abby, huh?
Yeah, Auntie Abby. Don't you think that's got a cool ring to it?
It's not Dada.
Apana, siya Dada. That is sister. Dada is sister.
It's Auntie.
Mimi, I'm Auntie.
Auntie's Auntie, huh?
Yeah, Auntie. Auntie's Auntie.
An uncle. Yeah, right. It's like,
so, yeah,
so
Auntie Abby.
We're joking around Swahili, and so, yeah, like back in the day.
Do you remember your Swahili, Omari?
Leo, kusema Kiswahili kidogo sana. Acha jana pale chini wa Tanzania, kusema Kiswahili mzuri sana kabisa. So what I said is, today my Swahili is bad, but yesterday, meaning in the past, back in Tanzania, my Swahili was very good.
Yes.
But yeah, so
well
I
done.
get these
I'm
bursts.
happy that you remember that.
My friend.
Your pronunciation is so American, but we totally get it. It's totally cool.
Speaking of a few things in here real quick is, first, so as we transition here, again, the title of your book, and where can people, especially here in our listening audience, purchase the book?
My book is available on Amazon, so all you need to do is just type in The Life in My Men. It'll come up. You can purchase it. It's $16.99. It's under $20, so it's super affordable. And it's an easy read. It really is. Or you could just come find me and I'll give you a copy.
Actually, I didn't get it autographed. Huh? And speaking of that, though, how can people follow you on social media?
All right. So my Instagram, which is my main platform that I use, is Abby Plaatjes. That's ABBYPLAATJES. You can get hold of me there. I try to respond to as many DMs as I possibly can. And yeah, that's where I'm available. Or on that other platform that I don't know what they're called because they're constantly changing their name. I think it's called X. It's Miss Abby, MZZABBY.
All right, good stuff. Now, you live in the United Republic of Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the few countries on the continent of Africa that has a woman president, and one of the few countries in the world that has a woman president. Mm-hmm. Man, tell us what's happening in Tanzania. What's life like over there now?
Well, I mean, Mama Samia, as we fondly call her, she's our mama, and she's doing an extremely good job, in my opinion, anyway. She, of course, had to take over from our late president who passed away some years ago, John Pombe Magufuli. And she, of course, was the vice president at the time and now is the current president of Tanzania. But she's doing really phenomenal things. I know that she's given a lot of her time to tourism. She's brought over, I think, hundreds of tourist vendors to actually come and view Tanzania, like physically. She had them up in the Serengeti and in Ngorongoro Crater. She took them on a whole tour. And there's a lot of investment going on right now with regards to tourism because people should come and see our beautiful country.
Yeah, now speaking of that, Seattle has a special relationship with the United Republic of Tanzania. And actually, man, I played a small role in that, man, over a decade ago when Paul Allen, the late Paul Allen, the time, man, struck a deal with the government of Tanzania. And back when it was Seahawks Stadium, people in the listening audience might remember that the end zone, there was branding in the stadium, the Visit Tanzania branding. And at the time, it was Ambassador Kagasheki was the Minister of Tourism. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I came over here. He came over here and they used to call it when the Seahawks would score a touchdown, they would call it the Tanzania effect.
No way.
Promise you.
That is awesome.
Right. And all the cable dispatches of that signing of that deal I actually wrote, and they went back over to all the different newspapers in Tanzania. And the official photo is a photo. It was me. It was a photo I took of Paul Allen and Ambassador Kagasheki. I took that photo, and that's the photo that went to all the news media over in Tanzania.
Incredible.
But I fast forward to earlier this year that Permanent Secretary of Tourism and Natural Resources, Dr. Abbasi, was here in Seattle. And speaking of Mama Samia, she got honored by our Seattle Sounders, our soccer team here. They had the jersey. For Madam President, and also a Trailblazers jersey.
Yeah.
You went to a Trailblazers game.
I did.
And also a Seattle Seahawks jersey. And so the Seattle sports teams here have a very long tradition and commitment there in the United Republic of Tanzania. And even African Leone, which was in the Premier League there, the Vodacom Premier League in Tanzania, that was spun off initially by the Seattle Sounders, our MLS team.
Okay, so I love that. We're building relations.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal.
No, it's a big deal because, I don't know, like I said earlier, we need to also focus a little bit on bridging the gap between, Africa and the Americans because we just have so many things in common. The commonality that we share is something that I think we should focus on more. Let me just put it that way.
And I think the only people who drive the divides are the people who benefit from the divide.
True story.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
True story. I mean, you lived out there for 20 years, Omari. 20 years. And I'm just going to take credit for that because we painted Omari, and then he came back to Seattle, and then he gave all his beautiful paint jobs to you guys. So we created him.
I went to the continent very green, huh?
No, but it was beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing to have seen you blossom, to see you grow, to come and bring all of that back here. Mm-hmm. And what you're doing here is just absolutely phenomenal. The way that you look after your community, the way that you highlight everybody. When I say everybody, I mean from the person that we meet on the train just saying hi to, you know what I'm saying, to like, whoever the president. But you've got the warmest, kindest heart of, I know a lot of people, and I think that yours is the biggest.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And as we're winding down here, now you've been in the U.S. You've been here plenty of times before, but this particular trip here, man, how's it going for you?
Oh, no, it's too much love. I'm bursting at the seams. I've been so well received. Actually, shout out to everybody, to Seattle, actually, the city of Seattle, for treating me so well, but mainly to my friend, my brother, my partner in life here, Omari Salisbury, who's just, shown me a side of the city that is incomparable from what I've experienced before. So I'm eternally grateful. The people, I think, in every place, every country that I go to in the world, the people is the defining factor of every city, every country. And the people here are extremely warm. Disregarding the weather, the people are extremely warm.
You hear that? All you Seattle freeze believers out there, we haven't frozen everybody.
Not at all. I mean, literally from the doorman to, police officers to, just everybody.
You hear that, Eric?
No, I'm serious. I've been treated officers so well. I can't even lie. I literally have.
They must know you're a tourist.
They can smell the tourism on me.
they must know you're a tourist. That's a good thing. We want you to have a good experience.
For real. I really did. I love Omari's laughing at it like.
Oh, the Rev would be happy to hear you say that. You've been treated well here.
I really have.
By our police department.
I really have.
All right. So as we get ready to go out here, I'll give you some last words here. Any final thoughts that you want to leave us with, Abby?
No, I think we've covered everything, but I do. I'm extremely grateful. I just want to say thank you to you, especially, for making this trip happen, and for allowing me the space to talk about something which is so important in my life, which is this book. So I appreciate it, and I hope that everybody, if you do get a copy, and I urge you to get a copy, just there's obviously going to be something that you're going to resonate with because it speaks to everybody. So thank you.
All right, good stuff. The name of the book is The Life in My Men. The author, there you go, Abby Plaatjes.
Stop. You need to get that right. Plaatjes. It's so simple. You might get like my surname is Platypus or something. Plaatjes.
Yeah, that's difficult. But Plaatjes. We'll go and look it up right there. Hey, so look, one more reminder before we get out of here. The Mother's Justice Breakfast. That's right. That's this Thursday, November 9th at 7 a.m. at the Royal Esquire Club. That's on Rainier Avenue in Columbia City. It's going to be great with guest speaker Vonda M. Sargent and a pretty amazing presentation this year of the Thurgood Marshall Award. Now, for ticket info, you can call 425-954-7501. That's 425-954-7501. Or you can email mothersbreakfast@gmail.com. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up here and get out of here. I want to say thank you to the Rev Walden. Man, this is like chicken soup for the soul to be able to sit out here with Eric for 1 hour in KKNW Studios. Man, I've missed this over the last few years, and it's such a special feeling right now. Thank you, Eric, man.
Thank you,
It's
Eric.
a pleasure to be here. And to my guest, to Abby, man, Karibu, Numbani Apa, Seattle, Washington. Welcome home here to Seattle, man. Till next week at 2 o'clock, the Rev will be back. Have a wonderful day.